Yes, so Benjamin Dixon put a video up, I guess yesterday. I just watched it this morning, where he's talking. He's got a lady. I guess she went to a Black Lives Matter protest, and she looked demented. She's talking about how Jesus is going to come back in 3 weeks, the Feast of Saints, and Trump is going to be Christian. He's going to be raptured and all this kind of stuff. And I don't talk often about religion. I don't get deep into religion other than, Jerry Falwell. I talked about that minister. That's pretty popular on my account. I talked about them because they were very political. And like I said, when you get political and you use your religion as a weapon, I'm coming for you. Every time. What did I say? If Jerry Falwell was some homophobe in East Texas who was like, I hate gays, and they got a picture of him in the bed with a 16-year-old with their dick in his mouth, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't even be talking about it. I'd be like, ha ha, be done with it, right? This lady looked demented, and she's talking about how the end of the world is coming and all that. And Benjamin Dixon was kind of kidding around with it. And for some reason, it really hit me this morning that this is the death cult. Like, this is really sickness. And it's not funny. It's not ha-ha. It's not to be kidded about. This is actually kind of dangerous. Even if Trump wasn't playing this up, playing to people as he is, it still would be dangerous. I've been looking at this stuff at least since Bush. Yeah. Bush is going to take the guns away under martial law, and same thing with Obama. Obama's taking the guns away under martial law. He didn't. That stuff didn't happen, and Obama, I think there was some kind of he said we need to have something stronger, like I said, vegan defense corps or something, and people were like, he's talking about some kind of secret police. And it pales in comparison looking back at the fact that we're actually dealing with that now with Trump. Like we're actually dealing with Gestapo troops in the streets here. We're actually dealing with Border Patrol kidnap people, put people in unmarked vehicles wearing ski masks without charges. We're actually watching that. And it just makes everything that Obama did or say kind of pale in comparison. Everything. All the birtherism, all that stuff. That's why I kind of give Obama a pass. I don't talk about him often because so much of it was just classist, racist bullshit. That's what that was. It wasn't no thought. I don't have to dig too deep into all the nepotism around Trump or all the shit around Stephen Miller. I don't have to dig too deep. That's been made manifest. That's clear. That those are racists we're talking about. So we've been talking about this for over 20 years, at least as long as I've been following. That Jesus is coming back, the end of the world is at hand, they're going to take the guns, Agenda 21 is about taking everybody off their land, and this, that, and the other. And I just realized that this is like, I talk about it, this is really cult-like behavior with Trump. You're dealing with like real cultist type stuff. You really are. And you're dealing with people who have this mindset of no matter what Trump does, we're Christians, we're fighting a good fight against the Muslims and the gays. And if we're wrong, and there is climate change and we die, we're going to heaven anyway. Right? We're going to heaven, and all those bad people are going to hell. And so, what to do? Who cares, right? I follow Jacobin, and I watch him sometimes. And, they talk about change and what Bernie could have done and all that. And for some reason with this video, it really hit me that because we're dealing with people who are so fucking insane, who are so demented, who are so on this death cult, the world's gonna come to an end in 3 days, The fact that that's how they think changing America, like for a socialist purpose, could actually be kind of dangerous. And I mean, like, even if, like, what they talk about, that, okay, the kids are becoming more left and, all this kind of stuff, even if Bernie had gotten elected and he put forward socialist stuff that makes sense, that I agree with, and that would actually help a lot of people, you could still get violence because all the Christians have to do, the what I'm saying is this, man. Christianity is kind of like, what do they call that in the military? A force multiplier. A force multiplier. You know what I mean? You having night vision, you having machine guns, you having grenade launchers. Well, that makes you better able to kill a lot more people from a distance than one soldier with a rifle. No, you having grenades, you having things like that, you're able to do more damage. That's what Christianity is. It's a way to, no matter what America does, no matter where they do it, well, these people probably deserved it. We are given by God, manifest destiny, and all that crap. That is what Christianity on that scale is about. And I just realized, that, hey, even like if Obama had done some of the things he said he's going to do, closing Guantanamo and such, that could have been kind of dangerous. You know what I mean? Because they want this. When that lady's talking about Jesus coming back in 3 days and this and that and the other, like I said, it just touched me that this is kind of dangerous, and we're watching police officers refusing to enforce the mask regulations. All this to me is a harbinger of what's to come. All right. Even like I said, even if we were to get some of those policies that he was talking about done, there's a certain, what's it called? I mean, we talk about climate change often. I talk about climate change often. We talk about, disasters and things like that, and those are significant threats. But let's not forget about how many of these rednecks own guns and how many, they call them ammo-sexuals. Like, that stuff is real. That ain't no joke. That ain't nothing to laugh about, a kid about, a joke about. And the next pandemic, the next disaster may be worse. And we're literally looking at people who are telling us they're not going to cooperate. They are not going to cooperate with science. They're not. I mean, it bothers me that we see this, and nobody on the left even really talks about this. What that means. You know what I mean? When you have so many people that just say, I'm just not going to cooperate. I'm sorry, I'm boiling up water for the dishes. You may hear something in the background. Yeah, I'm just not going to cooperate. I don't care what the doctors say. I don't care about science. I don't care about any of that. And you're not going to in any way get me on your side. You know what I mean? That the market, the vaccine for this pandemic is the mark of the beast. Stuff like that. Like that's a problem. And that's what Trump plays to with the payroll tax cut. Therefore any tax cut, no matter how minor it might be. All of the things that Trump has done. This is just playing to them. This is playing to greed. This is playing to people, once again, who have basically said, I'm not playing into the system. I don't believe in science. I don't believe in reason. I don't care about science. I don't care about reason. I'm going to do what I want. I don't have to wear a mask because I don't feel like wearing a mask. I mean, every time they talk about like opposition information, like Trump's people do, I think about the fact that if things are like that, where Fauci told falsehoods or people aren't taking it seriously or whatever, that's because that's all on Trump. That's all on him. he made this thing political. He gave people who already were uneducated and ignorant a reason to further not care. That's what he did. Now Europe. They're trying to. I think I've talked about it before. Europe's got a fund for COVID-19 vaccine, and Trump said we're not going to have nothing to do with that. I mean that is. I was talking about this months ago that the Europeans had some kind of a fund for when the vaccine come out, and how I kind of knew then that America wouldn't take a part. It's sad. It's sad. I mean, I don't know. I see this more about America than it is just Trump. I'm not one of these, leftists that just, well, it's all Trump. No, it's the Republican Party. This is big money. This is rich people saying we're done. There's a thing there between rich people who don't need society because they're going to automation, and rednecks who don't need society because they don't think they do, because they don't believe in science. They're racists, and they believe their God is coming back tomorrow or next week or 2 weeks from now. Their God is coming back, and everybody's going to be raptured off. Like, there's a thing there. I haven't done a video, and one day I'm going to do a video. One day we're going to really dig into that. But there is definitely a link there between people who are on this Christian, white supremacist, nationalist stuff, who are like, I'm just moving out in the country, and I don't need this, and I don't need that. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. That's they done back in the 90s. I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? Now, if I had lived, if I was the guy I am today, and I seen that back in the 90s, I'd probably be like, man, this is bad. They shouldn't do that. Militias are bad. But I mean, I honestly think I'd have no problem with that. Where they Elohim City, they had stuff back then where it was like all white areas, all white, out in the woods. Like I'm talking about like 30, 40 miles out, like not Mena, Arkansas, like just out in the woods. I would be totally fine with that. You don't want to get vaccines, you don't want to, do certain things, that's fine. You go right out there and you do that. But when you are in an area with other people and you just say, I'm just not going to wear a mask because I'm in America. I mean, that's what gets me about those guys is they go to areas where they know certain things are supposed to go on. Like, to me, like, that's white people. That just is. Like, they have to do that. They have to go places and be like, well, I'm not wearing a mask. I'm like, then why did you even come in here? Because their society, that thing, yeah. You know how it is. Anyway, I just realized that if we as socialists were to get some of the things we've been talking about, and we would actually get, Medicare for all and things like that, there could be violence. And I we talk a lot about industrial denial. Sam Cedar talked about a Majority Report not too long ago with Digby. That was another woman. Ralph Nader's talked about it. Industrial denial just means that when you have folks who say, like, I don't believe in climate change. I don't believe in, any of that stuff. When they do that, they're referring to corporations that are behind all of that. Like saying that, Minnesota, that's what a woman was from, is a cold state. And so if climate change was real, it would probably benefit you guys. Yes. But how much of your food comes from other states? Those states make their food on calendars. They make their food, they grow their food a certain way. If climate change is real, it is, and the stuff starts changing really quickly, that would be a problem. And that would create instability. and probably create famine. Nothing funny about any of that. Nothing funny, nothing laugh about any of that kind of stuff. That's the industrial grade denial. But I hope not. But there is also a part of that climate change isn't real. We're all going to heaven. All our enemies are going to hell. Like, to me, when they do that, that's kind of like them saying they've lost. It is. I mean, it to me, it's kind of like the witches and stuff, like hanging witches from the, not hanging them, burning them and stuff, burning them at the stake, like that. It kind of reminds me of that, and that's just like that's where America's at now. Yeah, we are superstitious. I think that's sad in a way, but I'm a socialist. I'm not trying to fix the American empire. I'm not trying to make it more pretty or put new makeup on it. It needs to fall. This needs to end. This system is so rotten and corrupt. It's just now the world sees it for what it is. To me, that's a blessing. To me, that's something to be happy about. I am certainly not trying to fix this system. Yep. Because it's not a system for good. That's something you realize when you really look at America and all these wars. This is not a system for good. This is not a system that's like, okay, we've got to do what we can to mitigate climate change. No, that's not what America is. America's like, no, we don't believe in climate change. We don't believe in it. Chinese hoax, it's not real. I mean, that is in and of itself a dangerous notion to present. Like I said, I just think that with the industrial grade denial, the second part of it is Christianity. The thing is, though, I don't think a lot of Christians are that stupid to get in bed with industrial stuff, corporations. I don't think they're that stupid, and I think that we're further down the line as far as multiculturalism to do that. But that's it. To me, it's in the same box. Industrial grade denial, that something doesn't exist, you can't prove it. The rise of the PR firms, that you've got your facts, we've got ours. No, you don't have facts. You don't have facts. You guys don't have facts. That's not true. It is in and of itself dangerous. We are facing some unique crises, and to just say they don't exist is anathema. It's unthinkable. It's problematic. It's ridiculous. Peace.